I was late for the Grands video, but I'm about almost half a year late on this video. I recorded this video probably about 4 months ago, and I just never uploaded it. I'm basically redoing this whole thing right now because why not? And yeah, so here we go. Carolina National. Start with Saturday. Now, Friday was a world qualifier, but we're gonna talk about that later. We're starting with Saturday because that was probably the biggest day of the weekend for me. We're starting with open round 1, and just like with Derby City, I took a cool lap just to kind of get warmed up for the morning, and I sandbagged because I wanted to get a second lap in round 2, and so I was in round 2 for that. Class went really good. I actually got a really solid hole shot and held around the rest of the track. Got a first round transfer, which, can we just talk about this track really quick? Like, you could literally eat off this surface. That's all I got. The only part of this track I did not like was the first jump on the 3rd straight. That was it. I know people really do not like how big the new tables are there because they just got a rebuild recently. I wasn't there before the rebuild, but I actually really like the new tables that they have. They're like giant walls that you have to either pull, which... You see how tall I am, right? I ain't pulling those. Or pedal manual or whatever over them. I think they're fine. But yeah, I'm not that big of a fan of whatever this jump was. It was, again, with my short legs, I ain't manualing that. And with my jumping skill, ain't no way I'm even attempting to jump that. But anyway, it's time for round 2 of open, which also went really good. One more thing I want to mention about the track before we start talking about main events is how steep the gate was. Now, I knew it was going to be different going into it, but I did not realize how big of a difference it was going to be than a normal gate. Like, this thing is like... And because of that, my form was kind of off all weekend. I wasn't really expecting it to make as big of a difference as it did, but it made a big difference. In this lap of open, the gate really got me, but because that hill is so steep too, I was able to carry my momentum down it, and it ended up being the fastest intermediate lap of the whole weekend, which was pretty cool because that meant I got to be up on the scoreboard at the very end of the race with my face on it, looking all like whatever that is. And now it's time for the class main event. If you follow me on TikTok, which you should, or Instagram, which you also should, then you've probably seen this video of me turning expert. Now, me being intermediate for about 2 years has taught me a lot about the sport again. When I quit back in 2016, it was, I was not enjoying myself at all. It was a really demotivating and unfun time to be riding. I was the short kid who was a little fat, and then you got these giants with freaking huge mustaches that I have to race as a 13-year-old, and I'm over here like... help. I know that some people like to criticize others for going back to intermediate, but when it changes your perspective on the sport that much, like, I feel like I'm back forever now. It's lit a fire in me that I didn't have before I quit, and it's really changed my outlook on the sport entirely. Anyway, day 2 of the National, I was racing 1720X, and I was racing 17-20 Cruiser, which my main goal with Cruiser was to just get a slightly better finish in a semi because I got 8th twice, once at Music City and once at Derby City. So I was kind of like, yeah, I just want to do better than that. And that's what I did. I got the last transfer spot in round 2, and then I got 6th in my semi. I was holding my lines pretty good down the hill, and then I kind of just buckled as I went down, and that kind of ruined my chances of getting a good spot into that first turn. But if I stayed on the gas a little bit and I held my line into the turn a little bit stronger, then I could have had a shot at making that main. Class actually went really good too. Now, we had so many riders that we had 8th finals, which I can barely even count that high. Anyway, I led my second round, which was really cool. I think it's cool. I think that it was really cool that I was able to do that. Thought I was gonna have something more constructive for this part, but I guess I don't. 8th finals for class, I got a stacked one, dude. Like, I literally had Jordan Callum on my left, and I think I had Blake Powell on my right. One dude is World 4, and the other dude has an awesome blonde hair that I can't really keep up with. What? It was a very harsh introduction to the 1720X class, to say the least. I think I got like 7th or 8th or something like that in that race. I mean, I didn't do too great, but okay, I didn't even write down what position I got, so yeah, I don't know. It was probably whatever's on the screen right now is what I got, so... Let's talk about Friday. Friday was a world qualifier, and I don't have any GoPro footage of this just because I'm not really used to UCI stuff. It was my first UCI race like ever. 20-inch. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember what happened. It was probably like, I don't even think I made it out of, I think I made it out of motos, but I did not make it out of quarters, I believe. I think that sounds right. either quarters or semis. I'm pretty sure it was quarters though. Cruiser went much better. I made it out of motos for cruiser, and that put me straight into a semi. And I think I got one of the later spots in the semi. I think I was picked 4th for gate pick out of, I think, 5 or 6 people. So I chose gate 6 for my semi for cruiser. I can't remember why. No, I do remember why. I'm being stupid. It was raining really bad that day, and I didn't really want to have an inside gate because going inside in that first turn when it's wet does not sound like fun, especially when I have 2 other days of racing and planning to move up to expert. You know, it was not on the list to crash that day. So I held outside. I actually had a really good first straight here, and I was in 2nd in the semi, which was crazy because this was no easy semi to make it out of. I struggled down that 3rd straight. 2nd straight I was fine, but that 3rd straight really held me up a lot. Felt like I was slowing down the riders behind me, but I still held my position. And I actually qualified for Worlds that day, which was really exciting.